And call the meeting order. Start the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There'll be no agenda adjustments this evening, and this meeting is being videotaped. Are there any public comments from anybody in the audience? Not seeing any. Move on. Student advisory to Joe Herculini. Joe?
Hello. Everyone received a copy of the agenda I'm reading off of. Just want to make sure everyone's starting. We'll start in the second set of NHS at the top. We'll start at skills. Skills was hosting the first of two club fairs on 10/14/2022. The students get to see the clubs we have at South Shore Tech. Went very well. I was there representing student council and NHS. Many kids showed up. One of the newer clubs called the Chess Club I was right next to got a bunch of members, so I can only hope the best for the other clubs over there. Skills also started their food drive, which is going on. You can see posters around the school for it. If anyone like to donate, like everything's being dropped up at the front office. And Skills also helped out at the Special Olympics at the May Institute. I was there, it went very well. It was a great experience to see all the people there, and I know it's a recurring thing, so I'm happy to be a part of it this year. FFA, seniors Zoe Bradshaw, Lexi Minstotopoulos, and alumni Isabella Percival, Taylor Walker will be representing the state of Massachusetts at the FFA Nationals in Indianapolis at the end of October in Fort Lezine. Wish them best of luck. It's a big accomplishment to get into nationals, so really hope they do well. Athletics. You can see all of the records of the teams we have at South Shore Tech. Most notable will probably be the volleyball and golf team being 11-2 each. So very nice. Probably 3-11. We'll move on to the back.
Never mind. But they're having a hell of a season.
Moving on to the SAD program, that means students get disruptive decisions. They're a new program this year, and they have done a lot already in a short amount of time we've been at school. They attended a youth conference at the MIAA building in Franklin, and they started a community service project. At the conference, they learned about getting to the Y initiative that we have been chosen to participate in this year through our collaboration with High Point Treatment and Prevention Center, DESI and BS. The students participated in the team building activities and learned how to analyze data around the youth risk behaviors. The goal of this initiative is to bring youth voices to the table and implement positive change within our school and also statewide. The community service project that was mentioned before is to create blessing bags to provide to local women's domestic violence shelters to support them and their children obtaining some essential items. They're also on the early stages of planning a mock car crash scheduled for May 4th. This is right before prom to make sure kids when they leave prom to stay safe. And on the student council side, we are going to our CMAS conference on October 26th. That is when all Southeastern student councils meet in one place to go over what we've done this year and team building to get better as a student council. We have our homecoming on October 29th. It is already planned. We just figured out the decorations, so it'd be really well. Expected turnouts about 300 a little bit more, so it'll be really well. Powder Puff, which is always a great time, is on 11/19. I think it is a Wednesday. My seniors are all figured out. Other teams will be figured out very soon, but really hoping that we win this year. And of course, at Pep Rally, November 23rd, we have our 3 games, which I'll mention now, which is tug of war, table race game, which is a new one that we came up with, and of course, musical chairs. That always goes back. And that's the end of the lecture.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Okay, I'll ask for a motion for the set of minutes there for the September meeting. Motion Situate.
Second.
Second, Whitman. Any discussion? All those in favor? As unanimous vote. Treasurer's report, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mahoney. As
Joe mentioned, the volleyball team is doing very well this year. They're 11-2. And a little tidbit I found online, I guess Gemma Giesler of the girls volleyball team is leading the state in something to do with volleyball. I think it's kills or something like that.
Yeah, it's digs, kills, and aces.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah. So she was like #1 in the state back when I found this. So it's a great accomplishment. And there's a picture of Gemma on the cover of the report for this one. So kudos to her. Page 1 has our cash balances as of September 30th. Checking account a little under 400,000, and all of our savings accounts, everything all totaled up a little over 6.9 million. Again, doing well. Cash flows coming in all the time, and everything is in a good shape. During the past month, I did move a bunch of money. Interest rates, as you are well aware, is increasing on the loan side, and therefore on the investment side, the banks are offering some programs. We have higher rates, so there are money being moved all over the place into various accounts to get more interest over the next year or so. Those increases. The revenue report on page 2. The actual revenue for this month was Cohasset paid in their assessment. Ansett had not paid theirs yet. They did pay it last week, so they were just a little bit behind. So all our 8 towns have paid their first quarter assessments for the year. Other than that, we had a little bit of investment income in our Chapter 70 from the state. So overall, we had about 339,000. Again, expected as of September for the low month. And our expenses for September total, a little over $1 million, all the categories. Again, teachers are still building up on supplies. Largest number, of course, payroll of $678,000. No surprises, and there are a lot of repairs being done while the weather is still cooperating in the building, around the building, and everything is going well. So that's it for the treasurer's report.
Entertain a motion on the treasurer's report. So moved.
I'll second.
Hanover, seconded by Hanson. Any questions? Any discussions? All those in favor? Opposed? That is vote. Warrants, Mr. Petroselli.
Warrants, 5.1, 5A, 6, and 6A, totaling $1,240,000, $869.93.
Entertain a motion. Motion Situate.
Second.
Seconded Cohasset. Any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That is a vote. Budget transfers, Jim.
We have one minor one on the back. It's just a $2,000 transfer. It's actually going to the advertising budget. Again, with the ramp up the open houses next week. There's just been some more advertising, so therefore it's, so we just need a little bit more money in that account. It's going to come from the workers' comp line item, because workers' comp, we had some savings when the deals came in. So that's it. So just a little bit of advertising.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion Whitman, second Abington. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous vote. Updates. Any other updates, Jim?
Nope, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. At this time, the chairman doesn't have anything at this point in time. Thank you for everybody for your help in getting things going this year. Superintendent Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very briefly, school projects update. We had a meeting with the company working on our windows. They should be completed with all, the windows are done, the panels are being worked on now. They are finishing the panels in our courtyard. They should be by the end of the week around by the auto body footprint. Then they'll be working on the driveway side where some demo work has already been done. And then they'll conclude the project by doing the paneling around, basically around Cosmo. We'll have an update meeting in a couple of weeks, but the anticipated completion date will be probably the second week of November. It has had no detrimental impact on school operations. They're working second shift where if weather or other circumstances get in the way. So I'll have an update for you next month. Regarding MSBA, we have an agenda item a little bit later on the feasibility study agreement. I'll just take a moment to comment on that now. This is the document that MSBA asks districts at the school committee level to vote on, which essentially confirms that we're aware of the terms and conditions of this program. Our district will get 55.63% reimbursement on the $900,000 that this committee set aside earlier this year for costs related to the feasibility study. Those costs would include the owner's project manager and the designer. So the document is it's a template from MSBA. They fill in, they have an exhibit that includes the reimbursement rate. That is not the reimbursement rate for any future project for the construction. When we get close enough, hopefully as soon as we can, to going for some sort of construction project, they will recalculate the numbers. But for now, 55.63% of the money that we've allocated, we will be able to start getting reimbursed for it as the project starts. After an affirmative vote tonight, these documents will go to MSBA. We will be on their agenda for October 26th. At their board meeting, they will vote us into what would be called Module 2. And at that point, we will begin the process of developing documentation to go seek an owner's project manager. And then later in 2023, a design firm. So the first real task of this whole committee, reconstituting itself as a building committee, will be to tackle the OPM piece. The capital project subcommittee of our school committee will handle, as they've done in the past, interviews with OPM and designer, and then bring recommendations to a full committee. So I'm happy with the progress. We were invited in March of 2022. It's nice to be on their agenda in the fall, so that it should take a few months for OPM, a few months for design, and then we'll be able to get into the meat of the work later in 2023. So that's the MSB update, Mr. Chairman, and now I'll turn it over to Sandy for administrator report.
Good evening. I also provided you with a handout because I have some numbers for you. Sometimes it's easier, and you can see them right in front of you. I wanted to share with you our MCAS update, among other things, but I'll start there. At South Shore Tech, our students continue to outpace the state average, which is good news. Moving on to our comparison against our sending communities, we are 5th out of 8 in ELA, math, and science. It's a tight score range, but we're right in the running there as well. In comparison to other vocational and educational schools in our district, our ELA program is 7 out of 28. Math is 2nd out of 28, which is outstanding. And science is 6 out of 28. So doing very well in that category. What we are most satisfied with is our student growth percentile. It's really students against peers who are like them. So if you're in a heat for a race, if you're starting at the same heat because you run at the same pace, our students are outpacing. So they're doing better based against their like-minded peers or skill set based peers. In ELA, we saw an SGP average of 60%, which is excellent. And in math, South Shore Tech saw an SGP average of 72.5, which was the 4th highest in the state. So we are very proud of the work that our teachers are doing and our students are doing against themselves. The next item on the agenda is the Captain's Club Leadership Program. I'm seeing really outstanding leadership of students on our campus in general. The student council led by Mr. Polano, who is here with us every month, and the grade level advisors. The students are taking independent leadership in a way that I haven't seen before, both electronically and in person on campus. Dovetailing with that, we began a Captain's Club Leadership Program where the captains across all of the athletic programs meet monthly to talk about leadership building, legacy planning, program quality, to create a direct line of communication between the school administration and the teams, the students themselves, to support struggling students with academics or other issues. And we'll be doing data analysis of student risk behaviors, identifying what role athletics play, both as a support and maybe a place where risk behaviors happen, and how we can make an adjustment there. So looking forward to that. I can tell you that the graphics department just gave me today a fantastic logo for consideration by the captains for the first Captains Club, a t-shirt coming this way. Open house, we are ready. Thank you for the South Shore Tech shirts. We will all be in green on Saturday and recognizable as staff. We do appreciate that. Our vocational programs their space is just about ready. Our courtyard is just about ready, and programs are working on their 10-second cells as they are ready to greet 250 families estimated coming through on Saturday. I know that I personally am ready to negotiate the space between registration and interviews to ensure that students who want to be interviewed on Saturday are able to do that. So all good things. Finally, it is my pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce the electrical department. I'm going to say just a very brief introduction on each of them, just a little bit about who they are, and then I'm going to let them come and speak for themselves. They'll do a nice job representing themselves, they always do. Whether it's in red on campus, always doing something for the school, or on the extracurricular activity that they're involved in, you can count on the electrical department to be present on our campus day and night. We have Eddie Carr, our department head, who will be joining us up here momentarily. He's not just the department head, but an electrical teacher and our outdoor adventure club advisor. Todd Hohenleitner, electrical teacher, golf coach, baseball coach, and ever present at campus activities. Doug Southpole, who I'm just getting to know. He's new and he's got a nice short commute. He's an electrical teacher, and I don't know him that well because he's doing such a good job. He's just down there working all day, every day. So this is great news. And Paul McAvoy, I'm pleased to have an alumni back with us here on campus, a new South Shore Tech electrical teacher. And I expect that both of them are going to learn their job and then ingrain themselves into South Shore culture. So I'd like to give them a chance to come up and talk about themselves a little bit. Come on down, gentlemen. I turn the podium over to you.
Right into the fire.
Hi, I'm Doug Southall. I just started in September here. I taught the last 3 years electrical at Somerville High School, but this is like the homecoming for me because I live in Hanover. I've lived in Hanover since 2009. I'm 53 and I've lived on the South Shore for 52 and a half of those 52 years. Milton, Quincy, and now Hanover. So this is, I want to, make a difference and help out, where I live, my town and the towns that surround me, and that's what this is about. I'm also the chess club advisor, so I got a plug that I didn't even know was coming. But, so I'm looking forward to teaching here, hopefully for a long, long time, because this is home, this is my community. So thank you. Thanks for
Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Paul McAvoy. Thank you for the invite. I'm a native of Whitman. I graduated from South Shore in 2004. So I actually went to South Shore Tech with Mrs. Sabucci's boys.
Yeah.
I hope they're doing well. David and Mike. Right?
Michael is a firefighter paramedic.
What town?
Lieutenant. Well, he lives in East Bridgewater, but he's in the Natick Fire Department.
Okay.
He has been nominated as firefighter of the year in the town of Natick.
Get out of here.
And we'll be going through his ceremony award in Worcester.
Oh my God, good for him.
And David works in a supermarket like I.
Oh God, that's good. Yeah, I ate lunch with them every day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, like I said, I graduated in 2004, coming from Whitman. I've been able to do a lot of great things in my life. I owe everything to this school. I got my first job from South Shore Tech over at Riley Electric. I was there for almost 20 years, I think 18 and a half years. I was in the field, I was in the office, I was doing AutoCAD, I was doing some 360 coordination. So I saw from both sides of the field in the office. So I wanted to come back, show these kids, this is full circle for me. I wanted everything I've learned these past almost 20 plus years, including high school, show them what I've learned, what I've seen, and try to, what I'm gonna try to do personally is, the trade is a lot of the hands-on work, which you need to do. You need that base before, so you can get your journeyman's license, get your master's license. But I also want to show the kids the office side. You can be an estimator, a project manager, 3D coordination, you can do BIM. So I want to try and bring that aspect into the classroom and try and get people that may not want to do the physical turning the screwdriver every day, but the people that are interested in the computers or the design. So I'm just trying to show everybody that you may not, I'm going to push you to be an electrician first, get your licenses, and then there are other pathways that you can go instead of just going out, working in the field every single day. Like I said, from the education I got here, I was able to do all of this, and I've been able to do a lot of traveling, and I owe all that to the education that I got here.
Thank you. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
How am I gonna follow that one?
Come on.
I'm Eddie Kyle. I've been here at South Shore now for a little over 11 years, and I'm new department head. And I'm actually going to defer most of my remarks to Todd, because we sat down and did this today, and I'm sorry that I came in a little bit late. I work nights for a big electrical firm on the South Shore, teaching their apprentice program. And so I'm running back and forth. So it was a busy day for me. I mean, how do I follow that? I actually have two really good guys that have come into the program. We're at a good place now in the electrical, where we have the kids are safe. We took the 20 kids in last year, and our program we've always been the best program in the school. And we get the numbers, and I don't mind saying that, and I don't mind bragging about it, because we work really hard to get good kids. We can offer kids jobs from our trade, and Todd will have the rest of our remarks. But I'm glad that you invited us here. I'm really glad that we have been able to bring Paul and Doug in to help Todd and I with the safety aspect. You know, we work with a lot of dangerous stuff down there, and we've always been kind of like on the edge. And now we at least have a little bit of coverage where, you know, and training. Todd's helping Doug get through, and I'm helping. Paul and I are partners. So I'm teaching the 9th grade. I'm back in the shop. I was a related teacher for most of my career here. So I'm actually very glad to be back in the shop. It's really fun for me training the brand new kids that are coming through the exploratory program and having some fun with them. And hopefully give them enough of a foundation before I leave here in June, because this is my last year here at South Shore. So anyways, I appreciate the opportunity. I'll let Todd, he has a big list of remarks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For those of you that don't know me, my name's Todd Moorliner. I'm in my 13th year as the electrical instructor. I'm also the varsity baseball coach and also the golf coach. Eddie did say that we did speak earlier, but he did take all my notes. So, first off, thank you for having us. From my understanding, this is one of the first highlights of programs in the school. And as Eddie said, you know, we call ourselves the best shop, and we truly believe that in terms of the employee that we send out there. We take a lot of pride in what we're sending out there. You know, our numbers speak for themselves. Last year we had 19 out of 19 kids out. This year we have 19 seniors. We have 15 of them out, and the other few that are back. I think they're undecided on which avenues they really want to go. So that's one thing we want to mention. A couple other things, you know, our shop highlights is, of course, the relationships that we have with outside employers. You know, Eddie and myself and Dan Condon, who just went on to other jobs. We do a lot of networking out there, especially with Doug and Paul coming in. That brings us a new, bigger network. And like Paul was saying, you know, it also brings a new level of experience. And out there. I always believe that there are so many different aspects of electrical work that you can specialize in. I might be a field guy, Eddie was a factory guy, Paul a little bit more of the office type, and there are different avenues you can go. So, you know, we welcome them in terms of making the next transition into the school. And given our biggest thing for me is giving the opportunity to every kid that comes through our program. You know, like Paul said, you don't always have to work with your hands, but there are different many avenues that you can go after. So we're happy to have them on board with us. We continue to produce a good product. One thing that really helps us is outside work. The school, as you know, keeps us very, very busy. You know, I was going through my list of outside jobs in the school. For instance, I had 6 pages that I copied this morning.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, that's what happens when we have an older building. And we welcome that changes. And a lot of it is the grants that, you know, we have the people working on it, bringing the money into the school and changing the equipment that we have. You know, from a parent standpoint, you know, we're a technical school. We need to bring in that new equipment. We need to bring the best quality work that we can out there. And with that, let's bring in the equipment, material. Even the types of tools that we use, we spend money on tools so we can actually use those tools in shop. So when they do go out in the field, they're acquainted with them. They can jump right in. And sometimes materials, you know, they can say, oh, hey, have you seen this? And they might be talking to a guy who's been in the field for 20 years and he would have no idea, but now it just saved him 10 minutes. Well, times that by 100. So bringing in new material is, you know, one of the things that we continually try to do here. But the outside work. Last year, we took the most freshmen we have ever taken, 20 students. When we first started, we had about 14 students. And that's another biggest thing we talk about is our safety. If one thing we lack space. We have a lot of equipment, we have a lot of students. It's our space that we lack. Material also, we'd like to bring in more material, but we don't have places to put it. So if anything that we look for, we're always looking for more space. But the biggest thing is our safety. Okay, the students with, you know, a lot of students and a couple of more teachers in our program. That's just going to help us and help us all try to keep the accidents down. So that's about all I have. Any questions? Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good, that's it.
I can only second what they said.
Jack, I would expect nothing less from you, Jack.
Only God electricians make life.
That's correct.
The only thing more important than our students in our building is our teachers. And you have before you a program with skill, passion, and commitment. So thank you very much, Electrical Program, for your past, and we're looking forward to your future. That concludes my presentation tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On a side note, sorry to interrupt. I do want to recognize Eddie Cowell. Eddie came into our program 10 years ago, and he's, you know, along with him, we've worked very hard for the program. And like I said, our numbers speak for themselves. And me personally, it's going to be tough to see Eddie go. And I just wanted to, you know, thank Eddie publicly.
Very nice. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here this evening. Moving forward, we're going to go into new business. Superintendent's annual goals. That's article page, document 5 in your packet.
Mr. Chairman, I have goals set regarding cybersecurity training for our staff, student attainment of third-party licensure, MSBA progress and procurement. And as for a motion to approve those goals.
So moved. Second. Hanover. Second by Abington. All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
That's a vote too. Subcommittees, I skipped over earlier because we're coming up on the new business today, and I'm going to turn this over to legal counsel subcommittee, Mr. Moe.
Yeah, I think you missed also approve the minutes.
We
We got that.
I'd like to make a motion, the subcommittee met on legal review, and we interviewed their old name, Copeland and Page. They're now called KP Law, and I'd like to make the motion, we accept them for the building project that we're going into.
Second. Motion by Situate, George? Yeah. Cohasset, second from Situate.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I want to thank the legal review committee for spending time on this. It's a very helpful, it's very helpful to have these resources at the district's disposal for matters dealing with procurement. There are matters that our district has to deal with that don't always involve education, pure education. KP Law will assist us in that, and the regional agreement as well, reviewing any changes to a regional agreement in the very near future. But certainly MSBA is the major thrust of the next several years of work. So thank you, members of the subcommittee, for that.
You know, I'll elaborate on Tom a little bit. You know, I recommend you all become conversant with this book, and you can conversant with our
Policy manual.
Conversing with them so you can tell what's going on with them. I know I put a lot of time in it, but you have to do it in order to, I'm going to say it out loud, keep Tom honest and keep us honest. They're complicated, and this project is going to be complicated from phase 2 on. 2 modular, whatever we call it. I call it 1 7/8 that we were in the other day, but we're not going to be able to do anything unless we get their approval that we're going to do it. And it's, I know Jack and Bob H agree with me on that. We've been through it before. Thank you.
Next in the new business is.
I'm sorry, I commented under discussion. Let's take a vote.
Yeah.
Did we take a vote on it?
Yeah, no, we gotta take a vote now. That's what I was just gonna say. We ask for a vote on that. KP Law. Yeah, Copeland and Page. Yes, Page. We'll do a roll call vote to that. Huh? I thought we did that already. We did that, yeah.
No, we haven't.
We haven't voted yet.
So just, voice vote is fine.
Yeah, okay, okay. K and P, go around, move Whitman.
Aye.
Cohasset. Abington. Hanson.
Aye.
And I myself, yes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is MSBA feasibility study, document 6. Yeah, Superintendent Director, Dr. Hickman.
Yeah, again, this is the document I mentioned under my report. This is where it specifies, among other things, the reimbursement rate of 55.63%. And it essentially sets the terms and conditions for how the feasibility study process works. With your affirmative vote tonight, we'll send these documents in, and that will be sufficient information, along with some minutes from the meeting where we appropriated the feasibility money, to then take the next step to get off the 1 7/8 and into a module 2.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Situate, second Goodman. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right.
I think you're on a roll call this one.
Happy to do, I don't think it's required, but for the
I
record,
think
that's
we are.
perfectly fine.
That's why I had a question there. I was just gonna ask if we should go roll call, which I strongly suggested we do anyway.
Just to keep.
Yep.
I'm honest.
Whitman, yes.
Whitman, yes.
No, yes.
Cohasset, yes.
Abington, yes.
Situate, yes.
Hanover, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Rockland, yes.
Thank you.
That is a vote. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Out-of-state field trip. The document number 7. The book here. Looks like going to Nashua, New Hampshire.
I'll make the motion, whatever you want.
Entertain a motion. Motion Hanover. Seconds, Abington. Situate.
Somebody.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Seeing here none, that is a vote. Request for action? Further ado there, but I'll turn to my colleague from Whitman, Mr. Salvucci.
Motion to adjourn, with all due respect.
Second Situate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen.